distant rumble of thunder echoes as the faint ticking of an antique clock fills the silence. The night is completely black until footsteps creak across an old wooden floor and a single desk lamp clicks on, its warm light revealing an extraordinary room lined with towering bookshelves packed with weathered journals, ancient maps, archaeology books, and mysterious artifacts gathered from forgotten places around the world. Faded expedition photographs cover the walls, while a giant world map dominates the room with thin red threads connecting Egypt, Peru, Cambodia, Jordan, Turkey, and dozens of other locations linked by an investigation still unfinished. A lone explorer walks in, removes his worn leather gloves, places a dusty backpack beside the desk, carefully sets down a well-traveled compass, and silently studies the map as if searching for something hidden within it. He walks to an old steel filing cabinet labeled Solved, Unfinished, and Lost, hesitates for a moment, then slowly opens the drawer marked Unfinished. Inside are hundreds of thick leather expedition files, each marked with a handwritten number. His hand passes files 004, 011, 017, and 023 before finally stopping at file 019. Dust rises as he places the faded leather file on the desk, where 4 stamped words read, "Classification Unexplained." Inside is a single photograph of a lonely hill in southeastern Turkey. Nothing more than dry grass, broken stones, and silence. Yet across the image, someone has written in faded ink, "This is where history begins." Elias carefully unfolds an old satellite map where the same hill is circled in red beside 3 chilling notes. Older than Stonehenge, older than the Great Pyramid, and built before farming. He slowly looks up, not with excitement, but with disbelief. The room falls silent as he gently closes the file, slips it into his weathered leather satchel, places the compass into his jacket pocket, and walks toward the door. Before leaving, he pauses one last time, rests his finger on Turkey on the giant world map, gives a silent nod, and the desk lamp clicks off, leaving the room swallowed by darkness. The morning sun rises over the rolling hills of southeastern Turkey. The wind carries dust across an ordinary-looking mound surrounded by dry grass and scattered stones. Nothing about this place suggests it would change human history forever. Elias steps out of his vehicle and stands silently before the hill, studying it as if trying to understand why this forgotten place became one of archaeology's greatest mysteries. For a moment, he simply watches. Then he begins walking toward the excavation. From a distance, the site appears modest. No towering pyramids, no magnificent temples, no massive walls. Only circular stone enclosures slowly emerging from the earth. Yet appearances can be deceiving. Hidden beneath this quiet hill lies a monument built nearly 12,000 years ago, more than twice as old as Stonehenge and over 7,000 years older than the Great Pyramid of Giza. Long before cities, long before kingdoms, long before writing itself. Elias slowly walks between the towering limestone pillars. The stone is rough, weathered, and ancient. For nearly 12 millennia, rain, wind, heat, and time have failed to erase the marks left by the people who carved them. Each pillar stands over 5 meters tall. Some weigh more than 15 tons. Every single one was shaped using nothing more than simple stone tools. No iron, no bronze, no wheels. Yet somehow, these enormous stones were carved, transported, raised upright, and carefully arranged into perfect circles. As Elias shines his flashlight across the pillars, the shadows begin revealing extraordinary artwork. Foxes, lions, wild boars, snakes, scorpions, birds with outstretched wings. Every animal appears alive, frozen in stone thousands of years before history officially began.
These were not random decorations. Every carving was intentional. Every symbol was placed with remarkable precision. But no one knows exactly what they were trying to say. For generations, historians believed
Humans spent every waking hour trying to survive, hunting, searching for food, and finding shelter. People living such difficult lives were never expected to build monuments. They simply didn't have the time, the organization, or the reason. Yet Göbekli Tepe challenges every one of those assumptions. Someone planned this. Someone designed it. Someone convinced hundreds, perhaps thousands of people to work together thousands of years before the world's first cities even existed. In 1994, German archaeologist Klaus Schmidt arrived at this very hill. What many believed were ordinary rocks, he immediately recognized as something extraordinary. The moment excavations began, massive carved pillars slowly emerged from beneath the soil. Then another and another. What archaeologists uncovered wasn't a single structure. It was an entire ceremonial complex hidden underground for thousands of years. A discovery so unexpected, it forced historians to rewrite one of civilization's oldest stories. Elias kneels beside one of the massive T-shaped pillars and carefully opens his leather journal. Instead of sketching the entire monument, his eyes focus on one tiny detail. Near the base of the pillar,
almost hidden beneath centuries of erosion, is a small geometric carving. Unlike the surrounding animals, it is simple, precise, and deliberate. He studies it for several silent moments before slowly sketching it into his journal. As he turns the page, for the briefest moment, we notice another nearly identical sketch on an earlier page. He pauses. His expression changes. Coincidence? Or the beginning of something much larger? He quietly closes the journal and continues deeper into the ancient sanctuary.
The afternoon slowly turns to golden evening as long shadows stretch across the ancient pillars. The excavation grows quieter as most visitors leave, but Elias remains, standing alone among stones that have witnessed nearly 12,000 years of history. He opens his journal once more, and today's question fills an empty page. Why was this place built? Elias slowly walks around the largest circular enclosure, studying the landscape surrounding Göbekli Tepe. Rolling hills, open grasslands, no traces of ancient streets, no homes, no marketplaces, no wells, no farms, only the monument. Everything archaeologists normally expect to find around a great temple is missing. It is as though the builders came here, constructed something extraordinary, and then simply left. Elias pauses before two towering T-shaped pillars standing face to face. Their human-like shape becomes impossible to ignore. Broad shoulders, long arms carved along the sides, and hands resting near the waist. These were never ordinary stones.
Many archaeologists believe they represent human figures, perhaps respected ancestors, perhaps powerful spiritual beings, or perhaps individuals whose identities have been lost forever. Whatever they represent, they were clearly important enough to stand at the center of every enclosure. Elias carefully compares several pillars throughout the site. Each one carries different animals: foxes, snakes, birds, wild boars, and scorpions. He notices something unusual. The carvings are not repeated randomly. Each enclosure seems to tell a different visual story. No written language exists to explain them, only stone and silence. Elias sits quietly beneath the protective roof overlooking the excavation, studying excavation maps while comparing them with photographs. One possibility continues to appear throughout archaeological research. Perhaps Göbekli Tepe was never a city. Perhaps it was something entirely different, a gathering place, a ceremonial center, a destination where groups traveled from distant regions to meet long before permanent settlements existed. If true, Religion may not have been created by civilization. Civilization may have grown because people first gathered for places like this. Elias slowly closes the map and looks across the massive stone circles. For generations, historians believed farming created civilization. But Göbekli Tepe suggests another possibility. What if large gatherings, shared beliefs, and cooperation came first? Could the desire to build monuments have encouraged people to settle together, grow crops, and eventually create the world's first villages? One discovery, one hill, may have completely reversed humanity's oldest story. As sunlight fades, Elias walks toward an area still waiting to be excavated.
Only a small portion of Göbekli Tepe has been uncovered. Most of the hill remains buried beneath the earth. Archaeologists estimate that more than 90% of the site still lies hidden. The greatest discoveries may still be waiting beneath his feet. Elias kneels and gently picks up a handful of soil, letting it slowly fall through his fingers as he realizes that thousands of years ago, the people of Göbekli Tepe made a decision unlike almost anything else in history. They deliberately buried their own monument, not because it collapsed, not because of war, and not because of an earthquake. They carefully covered the entire sanctuary with thousands of tons of earth, protecting it, then walking away forever. Why? No one knows. While examining one of the partially buried pillars, Elias notices another small geometric carving. Unlike the animal engravings, its lines are clean, intentional, and strangely familiar. He quietly opens his leather journal. The symbol matches the one he recorded earlier that day, but this carving contains one additional line, a small detail he hadn't seen before.
He carefully redraws it, compares both sketches, and his expression changes. This is not a random pattern. It is evolving. The sun disappears behind the hills, and the ancient sanctuary grows silent once again. Elias walks toward the exit of Göbekli Tepe, looks across the unfinished excavation one final time, then turns toward the distant horizon. Behind him, Göbekli Tepe keeps its remaining secrets buried beneath the earth. So this was the story of Göbekli Tepe. Subscribe The Mystery Expedition. Like and comment it for more videos like it.